Alright, here's an update video on this thing. Last week I was on what some people call a vacation, but it was more or less floating around on a big boat out in the middle of the ocean and wasn't very enjoyable. But anyway, I'm back. I've been working on this thing the last couple of days, trying to get it finished up and going. I don't really remember where we left off, but I guess we'll start from the back. So I pulled the trailer hitch off of it because obviously it's not going to be towing anything anymore. Pulled the spare tire out. Got the wheel cylinders replaced on both sides. There was some shock extenders that we added to get because when you do the flip kit, the bolt that comes through to hold the bottom of the shock hits the plate that holds the U-bolt. So we got some shock extenders there, got those on, and the exhaust is finished up. I'm gonna have to relocate the O2s because they're at a crazy angle, and one passenger side's hitting the servo on the transmission, and then the driver's side's right where the shifter linkage is now. I've got to mount the OD2 there. It's wired. I got to hook up the grounds for it, but one to the ECU's hooked up and the power wire's hooked up. The front, we ended up taking one coil out, and I think it sits about right. So it dropped it, I think, a hair over 2 inches on the front doing one coil. The calipers, of course, the banjo bolt out of the old calipers didn't fit the new ones, and then found one in town. Of course, they only had one. Then when I got those, it was too big for the hole in the brake line, so then I had to drill the brake line out, and it's just, typically how it goes. But we got the brakes hooked up, we got them bled last night, so it should be able to stop itself now. We got the new radiator, and this one I was able to get one that did not have the oil cooler, so we don't have those. They always leak after you pull the lines off, and then it's just something else to leak inside the radiator. So I made this beautiful hand hammered out plate thing to bolt to the course board and then hold the fans in the radiator. Got the hoses on. We got the hooked in this is for the regular Chevrolet. It has the Y fitting and goes to the tank. Spliced it into the heater core, got all that done, and got spark plugs changed out, got a new set of wires. We got the shifter linkage hooked up back there. I pulled the wires through where the cable came out for the cable throttle body. I ran the wires through for the drive-by-wire pedal. I cut off all the scissor bracketry and whatever for the adjustable pedal and just cut all that off and welded some studs to the back of the pedal. You can see right there, those two are the top ones. So what I did is I made a template of the bolt pattern of the mechanical pedal and laid it onto the drive-by-wire pedal and welded some studs to it so it would go through the firewall, and put some nuts on the firewall side and hold it in, and then laid the pedal up there and tried to get it how I thought it would look. It probably should be a little closer to the brake pedal, but it's on there, and it works pretty decent. So what I did with the wires is, instead of cutting a big hole, I just unpinned the connector and put the wires through that hole, and then repinned the connector back inside, and it plugged right in. I think it came out pretty good. I don't know if you can see it down there. So I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. It's a little high up, and it's the gap between the brake pedal and the gas pedal, I don't know. I mean, it works fine, but it's just, I don't know, a little more of a gap than you would have wanted, I guess, maybe. But again, you can get to it and it works. So I guess that's one of the beauties of the drive-by wires. You can put the pedal there, and then it works. Whereas with the linkage, sometimes it's a little more tedious with the linkage. Like on the shift linkage for the transmission, I had to put it in the overdrive on the shift lever in the truck, and then put the transmission in fourth or overdrive, and then lined up the linkage and bolted it up. And then that seems to work. It goes through the gears and everything seems to line up. So the other thing I did was I took the rod that came off the truck and then bent the new rod to match kind of the shape, and it clears the headers down there and fit pretty good. But that's a $40 shift rod from Summit, and it's identical, as far as I know, to like the low car. So it's got a heim joint up here at the column side, and then down there it has an adjustable arm, so you can just get the transmission where you want it, and then you have multiple positions. You can just keep clocking it to where you need it, and then it's adjustable with so you can slide the rod up and down in it to change the distance it pushes or pulls the detents to put it in and out of gear. So, but again, I've got to finish cleaning up the wires. These were wires that were in the OBD2, which aren't needed, so I don't know why they put those in there. All you need is the power, the one to the ECU, and the ground. So, some OBD2s have different wires in them, so I guess these were just extra. These are the wires right here that are from the truck. So I don't want to just cut them off, because they might be needed at some point later. So I'm just going to tape them up and then just integrate them into the loom right here and cover everything up, because I just hate cutting off wires and then you end up needing it. So it's kind of hard, a little harder to put it back. So again, I'm gonna make a little bracket to hold this fuse box right there, and I guess I'm just gonna mount the tack module on the fender well right there. And then the ECU, again, I gotta make a little bracket to hold that up, because this radiator was a lot wider than the one I initially had. So, but seems to do pretty good. Everything's looking good, I think. And we're closer to being finished. About the O2s, we had to order some new ones, because this one takes a female end, and in my box of O2s I only had one, so we just went ahead and ordered 2 new ones. And again, I'm gonna have to pull the O2 out down there. You probably can't see it, but it's right up against the servo of the transmission. I don't know why they angled them like that. They put the O2 bungs and headers in the worst places. So anyway, let's see if she'll fire up. I'm kind of let you hear it real quick. Hear those Flowmasters. So fires right up. It sounds pretty good, and we were revving it up last night. It's got really good throttle response. So once I'm not closed in and the risk of asphyxiation on, try to do some quick revs on it and stuff. But hopefully get to drive it some today, and just start finishing up all the little stuff, and then try to finish wrapping this thing up. I think he just I talked to him one day this week. I think he just started on the engine on that one, so hopefully I'll be getting the engine for this thing pretty soon. I got to get the transmission in that one, and then get back on that one. We've been derailed from that thing. And speaking of derailments, I'm about to bring the Big Red in, Clifford, and I'm taking the BTR Stage 2 truck cam out of the 6.2 and gonna switch it out. And then I'm gonna put that turbo on there. It's a T4 S480. So like I was talking to Michael, it's just the red truck's gutless down low with that tight stall converter and with the weight of the truck and everything. So the BTR truck cam has 212, 218 duration, and then I looked up the one that's in the red truck, and it's like mid 220s, 230 duration. So I'm gonna try to switch it out, get the duration down, and then get the tighter T4 exhaust housing. So hopefully that'll help get that truck where it'll spool up and have some bottom end, because right now I'm not happy with the bottom end. It just doesn't have enough for me for what I'm trying to do. I don't like it. The quadra-steer, that setup, it's got great torque and power down low, and the red truck just doesn't. So I'm about to pull everything out of here, get my truck on there, because I'm supposed to go take the Bronco to dyno Friday. Today's Wednesday, so I want to try to get my red truck in here and try to get it done, so then I can tow the Bronco down to the dyno with my red truck, and then dyno the red truck and the Bronco in one day. And then whenever I get done with the red truck, I'll jump back on this and try to get all these little things finished up, and hopefully have some driving videos of this thing. But that's it for now.